welcome to the Joe Shenman Show. Tonight, my celebrity guest is Joe Franklin, New York's first TV talk show host. With us tonight, Walt Gollender, Carmine Bassiano, James Petrecca, Yesterday's Treasures, Union, New Jersey, where Joe Franklin, the king of nostalgia, will shop selective memorabilia after a photo op and interview, then off to a celebration dinner hosted by Bill Agnolino of the Reservoir Restaurant, South Orange, New Jersey. And now, without further delay, sit back because Joe Franklin is about to arrive.
Your official biographer named Walter Gollender, who organized today's little get-together, part one today and part two tomorrow, is about to introduce you to a few, whatever you guys are ready to get. 70 million people watch our show on, maybe several million in the tri-state area on what is called, I guess, real TV, and 70 million on cable TV, or what they tell me is 2,500 cable systems. So Walter, you're talking to a lot of people, more than you could reach at one banquet. How would you set the scene for Mr. Al Alberts?
Well, I don't know if we have enough time, but I'll just sort of condense it. I would say the lead singer of perhaps not only the most exciting vocal group of the early 50s to the middle 50s, but the first vocal group to actually do choreography, Joe. The first group that not only excited you vocally, but they had movements on stage throughout the house. But you see yourself.
Welcome to the Joe Shenman Show. Tonight we are honored to have Joe Franklin with us. And I know we sort of came into this clip, Joe, what do they have going on? Or Walter, what are you playing around the TV? And James Petrecca's Yesterday's Treasures.
This gentleman here, who is in real time today, has just the king of nostalgia, the king of the world, the king of kings. I can say that.
I'm a gentleman who just only go out of a door and sit on top. Gentlemen, that's what you are.
Well, we know that anyway.
He's so good to his family because
I don't go home at night, right?
That's right, good.
That helps.
He brightens the party by
just leaving it, right?
But what were we looking at?
We were looking at myself, least important, and my all-time idol, Al Alberts, of the Four Aces, who got me into the industry, and we happened to have booked a record 4 appearances. Now, who do you know, Mr. Franklin? Did 2 shows in September of '87, and we came back and did 2 more in October. Not really. I mean, Cosby and Al and Elvis Presley did 4, and I was proud of that, and I wanted to thank you because you made it possible. And Al Alberts came all the way up from North Cape May, and I paid his car fare, and you bought him a sandwich in the commissary. And we're looking at that.
Where does Al live now?
Al lives in Port Charlotte, Florida.
Right.
He's 86 years old.
I want to say that to be with you was a thrill for me. I've had 5 U.S. presidents on my show.
Wow, okay.
Charlie Chaplin, Cary Grant, John Wayne, Bing Crosby 3 times, Frank Sinatra 4
Barbra
times.
Streisand.
To me, Barbra Streisand was my singer for 2 years. Bette Midler followed her.
But you didn't get one person.
Eddie Fisher, who's
No, Greta Garbo.
The only one I didn't get right.
Tell us about
Where is
that.
her shoe, right?
I found one of her shoes in a nutrition center in the store once, right?
That's what the story was, but they didn't explain it. But 300,000 guests we're talking about. 500. We have to update our notes. Okay, 28,000 shows, or it must be more than?
About 28,500. Sometimes I have 15 people on one panel. I was the king of what we call an eclectic mix.
How did you get with Martin Block in that very beginning? How did you get there?
It's been years old, and he got me right from I was sitting there. I was having a daytime lunch with the receptionist there at WNEW.
Yes. 11:30 a.m. In fact, I've gone full cycle. I started on 11:30 a.m. and I'm back on 11:30 a.m. after all those years. I'm back on the same killer cycle.
You're the record librarian.
Martin Block gave me a job as a record librarian. He met me in the hallway. He said, "You want a job, kid?" I said, "I'm not a kid. My name is Joe." He said, "All right, Joe, you want a job?" I said, "Yeah." So he gave me a job. There was a man named William B. Williams. Remember that name?
Sure, oh, yeah.
Talking about music overnight. I didn't know Juan Monroe from...
Who was your favorite singer at that time?
Angels. Eddie Gann.
Eddie, I figured.
The old timers, right?
But you know what, Joe? I know you're the king of the one-host person, and I'm thrilled to have you here. Well, why don't you call this let me have the honor of you interviewing me, and how would you call this court to order if this were your show?
Well, I would say welcome to the club. I've been at many nostalgia stores. I've never seen any shop as cozy, as warm, as charismatic, as attractive as this one. So I'd be so happy you're sleeping here at night, living here, you know, but I hope they got a bed for me. And I would say that to me, you would know. What's the exact name of this program?
The Joe Shenman Show.
And you're a legend. When I saw people on the Joe Shenman Show, they got all excited. They said,
well, we've had Orange Street on, yes.
She's known throughout the Northern
That's very
Hemisphere.
sweet of you.
And some countries of South America know her also. These gentlemen here, Carmine and Dorolari, they know that she is seen all over the world, also on Mars.
Coast to coast, myself, across the way to Brooklyn.
Yes. She's making jokes now, aren't you?
Carmine, who drove me out here today.
Which we appreciate, yes, and on the phone many times.
How's the traffic coming out in the Lincoln
Very
Tunnel?
quiet. I slept very well.
Yes. You were driving?
Yeah, I drove.
That's a joke. We'll cut that out later. We cut that out later.
Martin Block got me my own radio show. One day I got a phone call from Channel 7 and they were lighting up in the daytime. There was no daytime TV back in those days.
Okay.
And they said, what kind of show? We give you an hour a day. They said, the TV was only on there from 5 o'clock at night till 7 minutes. There was no daytime. So
right.
they said, Joe, we give you an hour a day. What kind of a show might you do? What would you do? I said, I want to do a show of people talking back-to-back, nose-to-nose, eyeball to eyeball. It's very hard to your mind. You can't do a talk show on television. The word is television. You got to give vision. You got to give cell files, pratfalls, baggy pants. You got to give burlesques. That's what I said, well, they can't do it, but rock and roll with them. I said, well, I'm going to do a show of kids dancing to records and doing your nuts. So I was going to watch kids dance to records. Who comes along, Dick Clark, comes to there. Because I defied them, and I think I did the world's first pure, organic, from-the-bones TV talk show.
Well, yes, the absolute first television talk show host, which we are so proud of. But you were always you were a record librarian, and you were the record picker, Barton Block, Make Believe Ballroom. Is that what got you into the nostalgia, your records data?
Well, that's a great question, Joe, because Martin Block was the king of new records. You introduced the new records before anybody. He said to me, Joe, when you get to your own show here on WAW, but don't compete with me. In other words, to be cute. So I ran out to buy every old record. So I went to the stores. I put down 5 pennies. Walked out with 5 old records with Al Jolson, Eddie Gann, Georgie Jessel, George Price, Kate Smith, Rudy Vallee. And I played them on the radio. I said, here's a record worth $500. Then I go back to that store the next day, put down 5 pennies, walk out with 5 records. The man would just say, come here, kid. I said, what do you mean, kid? He said, I heard somebody on the radio last night say these records worth $500. So I sort of single-handedly created the rare record market. By being
Well, these were old records that you bought? Oh,
I bought them for a penny a piece when I go on the radio and make up these funny stories about their true value. So
what was the next big
no
break
wonder
for
you
you?
got into collecting, my goodness.
And your next big break, moving to the next level in show business?
Well, I guess it was more or less make a lot of commercials for a lot of companies, for stamp companies and toy companies.
Movies. Julia Roberts on the way, right? Manhattan, Ghostbusters, 29th Street. Broadway, Danny Rose. Isn't he like Danny Rose?
He really is. He's the original Danny Rose.
He's got to be.
I get paid extra for that, you know.
The Village Voice, featured many times in the New York Times. Of course, you had the WR Memory Lane.
23 books.
Let's see.
My last book sold 45,000 copies. And they're all in my house. They're all
well, was the list in the trivia Joe Franklin's great entertainment trivia? Yes. Okay.
Interactive trivia.
I would like to sell you a book that a man sold me by Penn Station yesterday.
That's a big
man with an overcoat and watches said, you want the watches or you want this book? Guess what I paid for this?
10 cents.
No.
The hardcover book. You know, I wrote a book, let me tell you seriously, called the Marilyn Monroe Story. You know about that?
Did you? No, I did not. Tell me.
Sold for $10,000 because the publisher died the very day it came out.
Oh, and you have
not many
that?
copies came into the public's hands. So $10,000 so you're being facetious.
I want to know,
This is a serious interview, am I?
what was George A. McCullen like? You met him. What was he like?
At that time, they screened Yankee Doodle Dandy with Jimmy Cagney before him in his hospital room. He was quite touched. He died about a month or two later. He was a beautiful man.
Beautiful man. And did you meet him in Central Park, or you just Central Park was just
I met him first in the park.
In the park.
We separated, then we met later on in later years, but he was a beautiful man. Wrote some great songs.
How many books were there? There were 23 books. That's what I have. Is that what you said? 23?
Which one was this in that secession?
In the middle.
Classics of Silent Screen, your autobiography, Up Late with Joe Franklin.
Joe Franklin's Awfully Corny Joke Book, Joe Franklin's Cookbook, all kind of...
Amazing.
Every couple of them. One was called A Gift for People. All major publisher, Simon & Schuster.
Can I say something?
Please, go ahead.
Because I'm being paid top dollar to be here.
I know that.
All seriousness aside, a DVD of this program will go to the woman who survives Mr. Cindy Adams is going to get, I told her seriously,
I know.
among all the kids,
She's a good lady.
she will get a DVD of this, and she can't wait to see it, because, you know, the relationship, it speaks for itself.
She loved Joey, Joey loved her.
And who coined the golden age of show business, which was your topic of discussion most of the time?
Well, it's just a platitude. It's been around for a long time, but it's, I like it. I'd let it highlight to my, Billy Crystal impersonated me for 4 years.
Yeah, was it 4 years? Oh my gosh.
Every Saturday night.
And they might be giants.
The first time I saw Billy Crystal doing me, you know what I said?
What?
I said, Billy, one of us is lousy.
No,
It goes on at those Eddie Cantor meetings where you have all the crowd over there at the society.
Eddie Cantor.
Ryan Gary.
And Ryan Gary, your grandson, is nice.
And the Jolson Society, Clive.
I always had the little habit of asking my guests to say something toward the end, some little maxim, something inspirational.
okay. Did you? Oh, good. But what's the best that got out of that?
One time Bob Hope says to me, because somebody asked me on one show today if I wear a hairpiece, I said, no, it's not me, because he read Marvin Kidman's column in Long Island. He goes, Dad, wear a hairpiece. I said, no, it's not your fault, it's real hair. But I said, Bob Hope reminded me that one day, Bob Hope said, if you're bald in the front, it means you're a thinker. If you're bald in the back, that means you're a lover. Well, if you're bald in the front and the back, it means you think you're a lover.
You think you're a lover.
It's a joke, it's a truism.
It works. Okay.
I made one called, I started one called, it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice to people.
I use that, by the way, and I credit you. In fact, they're Seth and Joe and Carmine. He's very good to his family. He never goes home at night. He brightens the room by leaving it. I use that, and I credit you. And the one about it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. So I always say, these are not mine. These cometh from the mouth of the God.
No, you're the God.
Did you collect them, and as you coined them, or they just came?
They just came to me.
Came.
People always ask me, what's the secret of success in my field where the longevity rate is just staggering.
You are the longest.
The secret of success in my business, Joe, is sincerity. And once you learn to fake that, then you got to say it.
You are my hero.
It said a lot. But I want to know, where are the 50,000 movies, stills, 170,000 magazines? You probably have more than that,
I got
right?
vaults and storage rooms all over.
200,000 pieces of sheet music from the Civil War days.
Any overdue library books.
Donate whatever the owner of the store wants to him, because I got no space.
Everything you want here for you is not available.
Our space.
40,000 lobby cards, 20,000 playbills, and
Got them all.
amazing.
You know what happens? People are fans of mine, who watch me through the years. They move to Florida in their retirement, or semi-retirement, and instead of offering it to a Salvation Army or to a junk shop with something really menial, they give it to me.
Okay.
Every day I get.
How do you retrieve something? If I want to see a picture of you and your first little dog or cat, how do you go and retrieve?
I know the order of my disorder, and even though it looks messy, I can put my finger pretty well on my.
When I was up to your office at Times Square before you moved over and you had the elevator and we took some pictures, you had umbrellas, you had shopping bags from Tiny Tim.
Remember when Tiny Tim was married on Johnny Carson's show?
Yes,
I was
absolutely.
invited to that one, and I couldn't make it. I couldn't find a formal shopping bag. I didn't tell him, no, I said, Johnny, I hope you're saving your money for the time when your beauty fades. That's what I had to tell him.
You had mentioned about you could not get Greta Garbo. Could you have coaxed her? Could you
No, she wouldn't go anywhere. I was nothing. She wouldn't go on big movies. They would do over $25, $35 million to make a movie, but she wouldn't go anywhere. But she was, we were aware of each other. We'd meet film retrospectives, and we'd smile and we'd talk on the phone, but she wouldn't. She wanted to remain what they call
to be alone.
a legend, frozen in time.
Okay.
One day when she was about 37 years old, she went to a movie that she had made called Two-Faced Woman, or A Woman's Face, one of those two, and she said, I don't like the way I look, just walked away. She said, I made enough faces. And she's like Marilyn Monroe, who died at the age of 36, frozen in time.
How did you get to write that book on Marilyn?
I met her on a radio show called Lunch at Sardines.
Okay.
Remember the show?
Yeah.
Kid? It was hosted by a man named Bill Slater. I was sitting there between Marilyn and Molly Peacock.
Mrs. Goldberg.
That was Gertrude. You're close. And we just got friendly. I spent 2 weeks with her writing the book. Never got personal, you know.
In 2 weeks you wrote a book? How did you do that? You're a genius. Absolutely.
She liked me, and I liked her. She was very bright. Didn't even need a lawyer. She did her own contract. She was a very smart lady.
What did you capture out of her in your book?
I captured the fact that she was just gorgeous. I mean, she was just
she was.
adorable. She married Joe DiMaggio. They used to watch me every night on TV, and they would sing songs when I played the records by, Al Alberts and Walter Gallender's dear friend, and they would just sing along.
Is it true she had that little bouncy walk, sexy walk?
Oh, she was very, very provocative, yeah.
Yes.
I first noticed her walk when I was I'd like to say this, and I will. You can't stop me. I was an usher at Newark Proctor's when I was graduating Barringer High School, and the movie Niagara was showing, Carmine, Niagara. And there's a famous walk of her going away from the camera, and it was very provocative.
Yes.
She had parts that no one even knew were moving. Niagara, 1953. How do you think about that?
Who was the leading man?
Leading man was
Joseph Cotton or something like that.
something. You're very good. You made it. It showed me up on that.
What was the relationship
I didn't even know that.
with Tony Curtis, the girl?
Well, we were friends, yeah. He was on my show again last month. He wrote a book, and a big picture in there of him when we were both a little bit younger.
What's this book about?
It's about 180 pages.
Okay.
And it's really,
It's about his life?
he's very open about his children, about his drug habits, and being sick, and married over and over and over again. Like Eddie Fisher, he married everybody.
Point is, you talk about the show that he was on. Is this the Bloomberg show?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
What is the format?
Yeah. Okay.
It's a fifth. Tell us about that. A lot of people wonder where you are now.
Bloomberg's radio lifestyle, right?
I call it the business of show business.
Okay.
This week I've got George Hamilton, I've got Robert Wagner, I've got Dave Tellez, I've got Larry Hagman, and I wrote about Twilight Zone on the show with Twilight Zone.
Rod Serling.
Rod Serling, right, you see?
These people know. These people.
Why did you call it the business of show business? Is that because it's your nostalgia, the history, the little stories that you get?
And it's a business station to begin with,
Okay,
What day are you on?
One of us, Saturday and Sunday. I'm on every night at 8:15. Saturday and Sunday, all day long.
Oh.
Really? Starting what time in the...
Saturday it's on, we tell you what time it's on. At 2 a.m., 7 a.m., 12 noon, 5 p.m., and 10 p.m. On weekends.
You have to tune
And
in.
the call letters are?
BBRs, and that's Bloomberg Business Radio.
So you live on?
And I've got so many people that call me all the time. I go back into TV. I got about 4, 5, 6, 7 cable channels. I have some satellite radio, but
There's too much already.
I don't mind. I'm semi-retired.
You are retired.
Nabisco, Nuco margarine, Kellogg's, Martian Paints, my friend, Martian Paints.
You have a birthday coming up March 9th. Happy birthday.
39 years old. I'm 39.95.
How do you celebrate it? You have a big to do with the rest of that bad.
No, I'm just going to take it easy, relax.
None of the organizations like the Jolson or the Cancer Society with Brian Carey, they're not going to honor you? Stuart Weiss and all those people?
October 21st, 2008, the Players Club in New York City. The Theater Museum awarded Joe Franklin with the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh, my God.
So there are many, and he was also presented by Pat Cooper, Theater Museum Award.
Well, I've got more keys to the city. I got more plaques. I think if I had $1,000 gold on those plaques, I'd be a billionaire. I got about 2,000 plaques in my office. So it's been gratifying, it's been rewarding. And
You could retire on the value of all the millipedes.
Well, besides Greta Garbo, what is your greatest regret? You always said on the Uncle Floyd show, which we were watching, that was your regret. But give us regret number 2 of what you did not accomplish among this myriad of accomplishments.
That's a good question, Walt. I guess I was kind of shy about people that I wanted to invite on my show because they scared me. I would meet them in elevators. Like the comedian Fred Allen on the radio.
Yes. The guys, right? Well, he was scary. He was scary.
Groucho Marx used to scare me. He looked so mean.
But he was funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, right?
So why didn't you approach him? You've had everybody except the Pope.
George S. Kaufman, the famous playwright, also scared me. And in every case, when they died, I found out they were only waiting to be invited onto the joke.
Absolutely.
They had their...
How'd you get over the fear?
They had the pride.
Got you over. You just...
I got older.
Older. And is it true that you love the telephone, that you are a telephone junkie?
Well, you know what it is? Somebody who asks for advice, and I can help raise money to produce a movie, and I put on my TV show, my radio show, and I just never learned how to say no.
It's hard. It's very hard.
It's hard, you know, but
But they say you'll always come back. I'll make you very happy. Call me back. I have something for you.
Had all of these super comedians been on your show? I'm looking at first 9 out of 10.
First 9 out of 10. Mad Russian, remember? Eddie Cantor show.
Oh,
He
sure.
kept how do you do?
This was the book, yeah, Joe Franklin. Is this still available? Can you get this on eBay?
Oh, sure.
Because James Petrecca back here says he can get anything. Can you buy these?
All of his books are available, either used.
You know, to me, James Petrecca, I've heard so much about this man and about this shop, and he crowds more into per square foot than anybody in the world.
Put it yourself.
Joe, James, this is a moment for you. What would you tell Joe?
Yes.
Because you could share that nostalgia.
I was always wondering, did you ever have Frankie Valli or when the Four Seasons were
Frankie Valli, maybe 12 times. He's about Frankie, I mean, he's a legend.
Jersey Boys?
Sure. Oh, I was there on the opening. I knew it would be a big hit. I didn't know it would be this big.
3 years.
It took off. It's the hottest thing. You got to pay $400 for a premium seat even now after all those years.
Tell them about the opening.
Fabulous show.
Down in Australia.
Australia, they have an opening, I think in July, the beginning of July.
Has Frankie been to the store?
No, we had Dick Massey, the original bass singer. His son was here, and they all know about it.
We're going to
trying to get them.
We're going to talk on the radio someday, you and I. Talk about
He's the best. He's the best. Frankie called up one day. He says, "Hello, I'm in the area. Can I come over and see your store and look at pictures of my stuff?" And you know what he said? You have to bleep this out. He said, "You're a little late. I'm just closing up now. Call me next week." So I don't know if that
We named the street after the Four Seasons.
That's a joke.
Figure I'm in here.
That's a joke.
I'm in Union, and the piece of
a lot more
relates to the Four Seasons is they got their name from the bowling alley down the block, which is 5 minutes.
You call it Four Seasons Bowling Alley?
It's called Four Seasons. Not there no more. So what happened was, I'm thinking, I said, they were the Four Lovers, 1961. They were on Ed Sullivan. They were on RCA.
Jack Parr.
They couldn't get an act in the bowling alley lounge. They turned them down. So they're sitting out in the parking lot, and they said, what do we do now? We can't even make a bowling alley lounge. And they seen the sign blink, Four Seasons Lounge. And they said, let's change our name. Maybe that'll change our luck. Sherry came out, bragged out, bang. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Biggest selling American group of all time. From the bowling alley. Right down the block. So I said, I think I should mark that spot. I went to the town. Told the town, you have something here that should be marked. It was the greatest, biggest selling American band got their name from the place in the town. It might not be there, but the street where it is should be named. And I went to Costco, which is on top of the land where the bowling alley was. They were accepted. The town put a stage.
You knew all the people.
We had all
in
their
town.
families come, and they marked the street. We have the sign up there. They named it
What's the actual sign?
Four Seasons Lane. And now when I ride down the block, which is 5 minutes from me, I said, wow, I accomplished one thing.
You can take a big bow on that.
No, he knew the people in town. We knew the situation, and he put it all together, so I want to shake your paw. Because without you, we wouldn't be here today.
So it's
Without
kind
you,
of
we wouldn't be here today.
kind of like what they do for the Beatles in Liverpool.
Yeah.
Well, there was a big
bus
sign.
stores. We had a bus store.
I'm the community mayor, I'm the county mayor of Times Square. Times Square had a big sign, Joe Franklin's memory lane, for about 5 years. People kept on stealing the sign, so.
Yeah, they stole. I think they stole one from here because it's like on every other block.
That's what it looks like, Mr. Franklin. Just look up that. Show him that.
ceremony where all their kids were there, and they unveiled the sign.
So great.
And then they put it
How about
on
that,
the
Joe?
streets.
Like Joe Franklin's memory lane, right? That's good. That's really nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was a little tough, a little politics, but you know what? It benefits the town.
Of course.
It benefits everybody. As a matter of fact, I got a fruit basket from Bob Gordy and Frankie for Christmas. So I think they kind of know what I've done, but they're very busy because Bob Gordy was involved with the Broadway play in Vegas, in Australia, in Chicago.
Many road companies.
So I'm trying to get them to come back possibly this summer, and they unveil a monument actually where the building was on their street, so Frankie can see the street, and they'll see the monument as to where they were.
Could he be
in
there?
the parking lot that night.
Joey Reynolds also, if you
I
want.
would love Joe Franklin.
Joey
Joey Reynolds said he would MC it.
MC mental case.
Come on.
Joey's
But,
best.
yeah, so I'm trying to put something together for this summer on that street.
Sounds good, really.
Where were you born? We consider commemorate a street for baby Joe.
Well, I'm part of the Bronx Walk of Fame. I was inducted into the Bronx Walk of Fame
But what street were you
2
born
years ago. I
on?
was inducted that day with Tony Curtis,
Oh.
Hal Linden, remember Hal Linden? And Regis Philbin, the talk show host.
What was the street?
It's called Joe Franklin's Memory
But
Lane.
at that point, what was it?
Mashula Parkway, so I don't know what it's called.
Meshuggah?
I have no idea. Mashugga Parkway, so whatever it is. It's nice to be remembered.
Is there like a huge bust of you standing there?
Yeah, big bust, big bust.
Is Franklin your real name?
Yeah, I was born.
He was born on his license. It says Joe Franklin Nostalgia.
Right, the Roucher.
How about Sammy Davis Jr.?
Well, he was the greatest. Frank, the only time Frank Sinatra ever canceled his concert appearance. So I think Sammy Davis died. Frank Sinatra
Really?
worked the whole week. Sammy was probably inch for inch the most talented.
He was so talented, but I said he did not, what would you say, in his later years, he had very difficult times. Wasn't it true?
Because he didn't
businessman,
keep
right?
track of his money, and
Right.
different accountants which walked away or absconded a lot of his cash.
Isn't
But,
it?
And Altavis sued everybody later on.
Altavis,
right?
Oh, my goodness.
But Sammy was a dynamic entertainer.
What about Sinatra? How many times you said 4 times?
About 4 times, yeah.
Beginning, I mean, toward the end of his career, or like in the middle, or?
All different things. He sent me a picture every birthday. He sent me a picture in gold. Dear Georgia, congratulations on your 40th anniversary. You're catching up with me now, and all kind of